civilization, huh?
There he goes. Wow, it's good warm. That's what I wanted.
Alright, we are awake. This is day 2, and behind me is the river. That's where we came from. And we were warned before we left that the river was really low. And the first 2 or 3 miles was great. And then we ran into, I didn't film last night, but it all back in there is super low. There's just rocks. We had to get out and drag our kayaks. Kind of reminds me of that place over in Port Huron, that river we tried to do. So that was it was about a mile at least of that. Maybe a couple miles. Anyway, we are getting ready to go for the day, packing up, and hopefully we can put a lot of miles behind us. So this is what we did last night for several hours. Well, Tyler's peeing, but he didn't do that for several hours, but we had to get out and walk our kayaks. It is only just a few feet deep in the best spots. Super shallow. So we are literally just walking, pulling, dragging our kayaks where we need to go. So I see over here next to the island is a deeper channel. So we're gonna get over there and keep at it. We've actually done about 4 miles already today, and we only did 6.2 all day yesterday, but that's because we were fishing most of the day. So it actually is not that bad if you look at it from the perspective that at least you get out and you get to stretch your legs every once in a while. So that's what we're doing. We are stretching our legs. Oh man, the sun feels so good. I forgot to mention earlier that it's like 50 degrees, maybe 55. It's the middle of August, and I've got my nice warm jacket on. The sun shining down on the sand. The sand is warm. My face is warm. My body is warm. And I'm stretched out, and I'm not sitting upright, fighting against the wind. Actually, if you stop paddling today, then the wind will actually take you backwards, upstream. So the wind is at our face, and the wind is stronger than the current. So we've only had to get out once and drag our canoes over a shallow spot, and it's because we chose to avoid rapids, thinking that we'd get caught up on the rapids. But even though it was a much narrower section, the water was moving much better, so it would have been better for us to go through the fun part. But live and learn. We're 2 for 3 today, choosing the right path. Did I ever mention I love this? Love being outside. All right. So here we are, and we have reached civilization. Behind me, if you can see, is Moosonee. Here's Tyler. I had to pull off on shore. I had to stop and get my spray skirt on, empty my kayak out with water because the waves, the wind is actually at our back and the tide's going out. So it's absolutely incredible paddling. Complete opposite of 2 days ago. 2 days ago the wind was at us, and if you stop paddling you'd actually go backwards. So it's crazy how things change. So we're gonna get to Moose Factory. This transformer is making me a little nervous back here. I hear this loud like crackling. Do they always do that? I better get out of here just in case that's not supposed to happen. So, all right, and I've got my feet in the water, so if something happens, that's not good. All right, time to get back in the kayak, see where we gotta go. We're going to Moose Factory, and then out to the ocean. All right, this is pretty exciting. We are nearing the town of Moose Factory. Moose Factory is where the Hudson Bay Company set up their main center of operations. So this town goes way back, dates way back. So be interesting to see what in the world is on this island. So I'm pretty excited about that. Oh, that's the time I expected that we would make it. So we are, as you can see, just a little bit short. We're like at least 100 yards, 200 yards shy of our target by my target minute. All right, it is noon. It's noon and we are almost here. So time the tide's just right, and this back side of the island seems to be sheltered from the wind, so it's making for a nice reprieve. I had to get my spray skirt on. I literally, when I would get out of the boat and stop and take a little break, water would crash in, like after I've stood up, and just, so my seat is drenched. But Tyler's on a mission. We're gonna make our way to that boat launch. The town's only 1.5 miles long, so we'll see what happens. But look at, I wonder what that building is. That has piqued my curiosity. All right. Okay, we have left Moose Factory and we are en route to Hudson Bay. So I'm pretty excited. There's Tyler back there. We've been going for about an hour. We're averaging about 3 miles an hour. Basically, anytime we're paddling, we're averaging 3 miles an hour. So this river, I don't know if you can see how fast, you probably can't really tell how fast we're going. But coming around this little island right here, back, that's where, well, we came from back over there. That over there is Moosonee, and that's where we're heading. It's a little unnerving to think that the river with this much current, we've got to paddle about 3 or 4 miles back upstream. Actually, I think it's closer to 5 miles, and I mapped it out. 5 miles back upstream, except right now we're in a situation where the tide is going out, and so are hoping that if we time it just right, that the tide, well, we will time it, but hopefully the tide will bring us back to Moosonee. It's a little bit of a gamble, but we've heard it's been done, and so we're gonna give it a whirl. So one of the locals said that if we time the tide right, get the wind right, we won't even have to paddle. So we'll see. Right now the wind is at our back, but tomorrow and Tuesday both days the wind will be coming out of the northeast, so heading back southwest, the exact direction we need to go. So everything's looking like it's going to work out, but it is northern Canada, as they say. I think they say that no matter where you're at. So all right, well, waiting for Tyler to catch up. My boat is a little bit faster than his boat. Don't tell him. He's got blisters and I don't, but I do have something in my eye. That one right there. You can see it's a little swollen. It's been in my eye for 2 days. So, but I haven't run across any hospitals. This is how wide the river is. We're about in the middle. This is only half of it. Past that point it opens up and the other half of the other half of the river converges together. It becomes twice as wide. It's not even like paddling a river. It's like paddling a lake. Very big windy lake. Alright, here is our camp for the 4th night, right? Sunday. I had to think about it because all the days run together. All those rocks right there we use to help hold down the stakes in our tent. There's Tyler finishing up breakfast. Can you see my eye? I can barely open it this morning. So that's why I'm squinting. Just about packed up. High tide is in about 3 minutes. So once the tide starts going back out, we are heading out into the bay. Right here is a little peninsula, and across there, believe it or not, about a mile across is an island, and it's another mile wide beyond that. So the mouth of this river is about 2 miles wide. Absolutely crazy. So we're gonna head out that way and probably head to the north. That way we can say that's the farthest north we've ever been. So it is chilly. Alright, there's Tyler. We are hiking our kayaks through the mud flats, and the tide is going out, so we are just getting further and further away from land. I mean, literally, if I watch this, my boat is in, I don't know, a couple inches of water right now. In about 5 minutes, my boat is going to be on completely dry land. So this is pretty crazy. This is not at all what I expected Hudson Bay to look like. But this is the bay. This is the southern end, and it's got some pretty crazy tide things going. So it's almost pointless to keep dragging them. We're literally just dragging them on the mud. And it is cold. How cold do you think it'd be? If you had to guess.
It feels like 42. 42 is my guess.
I think said the warmest is supposed to be today is 47. So
well, I'm wet, so that
wet and windy.
Wet and windy.
So
this is like how they say you're supposed to get what's it called? Hypothermia.
yeah.
You're supposed to be half naked in the Arctic, wet.
All right. Here's Hudson Bay. Out there, nothing as far as the eye can see. I'll take technically you can see some along the horizon. There's back where we came from. It's officially saltwater, maybe a little brackish. The whole southern end of this bay is not super salty because all the freshwater rivers that are just mammoth that go in. So nothing but water. Frigid, cold water. Okay, so we are once again dragging our kayaks across the mud flats. We found it's a lot easier with the tide going out to walk the kayaks along the shore. And the tide's going out, so these mud flats are getting larger and larger. So we found it's a lot easier to walk them than to actually kayak them. Don't you wish you were here? People think I'm crazy for loving this stuff. As I'm bundled in my winter coat, trudging through the frigid cold waters of the Hudson Bay. We were paddling and then we came across a couple little sticks. We're sitting there paddling. We're like, those sticks are not moving. Wait a minute. It's us that's not moving. We're paddling, but we're not going anywhere. Paddling with the wind, but against the tide. It just doesn't work out. So the plan was to jump in and swim. Say we swam in Hudson Bay until we realized that the mud flats go on for miles, and we'd look like a fish with a fish out of the water if we tried to swim. So we cannot technically use the term swam in the Hudson Bay. I'd say it's safe to say we got our feet wet in the Hudson Bay, which is going to have to be good enough. We'd have to hire a charter boat to take us out to the middle to find a place to swim. But it was definitely as expected in terms of the temperature. As you can see, I've got my summer attire. Believe it or not, this is August 20th. So this is what August 20th in Hudson Bay looks like. Oh yeah. I did bring my shorts. Tyler said this is not the highlight of his trip, but he didn't expect it to be the highlight of his trip.
There's so many things fossils that I kind of want to find some of the fossils here.
All right, it is 6:40. The tide is the tide has already started coming in. You can see a huge difference now. Instead of going out, the current is going in. We also have the wind helping us, pushing us back up river. So we thought we would be creative and come up with a little sail system. And all I got to do is pull this up and let it catch the wind like that. So hoping that that'll catch some wind and help us move a little bit faster. And then Tyler came along and he had to one-up me, and he said his sail is bigger than my sail. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. I didn't realize he was peeing. So it happens when you're by the ocean and you drink lots of water. All right, let's see how they go. I'm kind of excited about this. Little adrenaline rush. I bet we're gonna fly. We're gonna go as fast as those speedboats. It's possible.
We'll see if this works or if we flip. That's kind of how sailboats go. Either it works or they flip.
Man, the water's warmer than the air. Wow.
There's not much of a breeze right now. So now this is just a big drag. There's no breeze.
No, I can see it pushing. It's pushing your sail a little bit. So our sails are working spectacularly, and it's not much of a wind, slight breeze, but you can actually see us moving along the river. This is going upstream. We're going with the tide, so the current changes, the wind is at our backs, and so far this little setup is working pretty good. There's Tyler. He's just chilling. We're heading upstream without paddling, and we're about to be overtaken by a tugboat pulling a giant barge full of what appears to be junk and a Dodge Ram. I'm not entirely sure what is on there. It's just a mishmash. It's a tractor, there's a truck, there's a crane. Somebody's getting ready to do some construction work, it appears. Tyler, this is an awesome idea.
Yeah, this works well.
So we're sailing along here, and we start hearing this loud roar coming in. It's actually, we thought, is that like an echo from the boat that just passed by? We're looking back there to see if there's any other boats coming. No boats, and what we realize is as it gets closer and closer, it's the waves that are crashing in on the shore. And what's happening right now is, I don't know if you can see it, the waves have picked up. This is the water rushing in from the Hudson Bay, and we picked up speed, and it just the waves just picked up out of nowhere. That is the most amazing thing that I've seen all day. That's so cool. So the tide is rushing, literally rushing in waves. All right, if you live by the ocean, then it's not that big of a deal. But the fact that we are sailing upstream in our kayaks because the tide's coming in is pretty sweet. So I just put my sail down to just kind of look at what's in front of me, because I put my sail in front of me. Tyler's sail's behind him, and then he can see where he's going. So I asked him to let me know if I was going to crash into anything, but he's kind of in his own little world over there, so he wasn't paying attention. Thought I'd pull my sail down to look, and I noticed my compass. This is a little sad. Look at that. See what that is? My compass is saying southwest, and this entire trip we've been heading northeast. It's kind of a sad moment when the compass turns to southwest. So peaceful up here, so untouched, and even if you do touch it, the tide's gonna wash it away. Oh man, it is absolutely beautiful today. This evening, as it's coming to a close, the sun, let me see if you can look at that. Absolutely amazing. We just saw our first bear of the entire trip. It's pretty, why don't you tell me I had some dry skin? Saw our first bear, I said, "Hey Tyler, there's a bear!" And it took off running. So I was trying to get my camera out but it took one look at my beard and it said, I'm not messing with that guy. Took off into the woods. Oh. So, I'll have to do something with that. All right, well, we are heading to the island and we're gonna camp out one last night before heading into Moosonee. One last look at where we came from. What a beautiful area. I don't know if you can see him in the, let's see him in the background right there. There's Tyler playing catch up as always. So, my boat's faster. Don't tell him. I told him it was because I was holding the paddles wrong. But it's been a fun trip. So, leg 2, got a little surprise for you. And yeah, a little surprise. So I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, but we've decided we're actually going to do another adventure.
Oh, is this the exact beach that you took a dump on, or did you take a dump somewhere else?
Yes, this is the exact one I took a dump on.
Well, do we want to go somewhere else?
No, we can go at a different spot. We don't have to camp on that spot.
That's what I'm saying. Which spot is it?
Way over on the point.
Oh, well, that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
This little beachy area here.
Beachy area sounds good. Well, it's another chilly morning here. I have no idea what the temperature is. It's probably 50, 40, upper 40s. And this is our last night. We stayed on this beautiful beach right here, and the mosquitoes were pretty intense. So Tyler has already gone that way. He's going to get a head start. So I'm alone on this beach, and we are on our way to Moosonee. Tide is coming in. Started coming in about an hour ago. So that gives us about 5 hours to go 7 miles. 4 hours to go 7 miles. Which we average about 3 miles an hour. So. All right, our voyage is coming to an end. We are coming up on Moosonee here, and it has been quite the journey. And I am directly across from the airport, and I feel like I hear a jet firing up. Maybe we'll get a chance to see one leave, fly over our heads. There it goes. And we are coming up on Moosonee. It's the final destination of our voyage. We've already passed it once. There's a fox sitting there, right on the bank. Man, we come into Moosonee and we see all the wildlife. It wasn't until last night that we saw the bear. First bear of the trip. First fox of the trip. The sound of civilization. All right, behind me over there is, you see right in there is Moosonee. Right there is Tyler. And we're gonna try to go through the halfway creek. The tide is up, and I think, according to the map, it leads us right to the train station. So we will see if this is like a little secret that nobody knows about, or yeah, otherwise we gotta hike our kayaks all the way through town on our heads, which would get old after about 30 seconds. So this creek is not the creek that they bring the tour boats down.
No.
So there's trash everywhere, but we are making our way. We just passed some rapids back that way, and
Nice body back.
Look, there's a bicycle rim right there. Body bag hanging from the tree. So, but this beats lugging our kayaks on our head. So we'll have to post this on some Moosonee forums if we find the secret way to the train station.
And these delicious white blueberries.
Yeah, delicious white blueberries all over the place.
Ensuring a healthy environment for the future. You know, I like my job. I like what I'm doing. It's a variety of work. It's doing different things all the time.
I try to get some of the jobs, but sometimes I can get them. I won't get second jobs.
All right, this is kind of the end of our voyage here in Moosonee. We're getting ready to board the train, loaded our kayaks, and we are getting ready to head out back to Cochrane. It has been quite a trip. We ran into another family from Ontario, and they were in canoes just behind us. We never saw them. They started out in a different river and then came into the Moose River, and they had some more issues because they were in bigger canoes, and they said it was rough going the top half of the river. We were able to sneak in and find those little channels of water once we learned the river and the flow of the current, kind of where those deep channels were. And so after the first day dragging our kayaks, it wasn't too bad after that. And actually, you know, it's a funny thing, when you're not expecting to have to drag your kayak, it's miserable. But when you're expecting to have to drag your kayak, it actually isn't that bad. You're kind of looking forward in anticipation, and works different muscle groups, right? Gets you out of the boat for a little while. So super excited to get back to leg 2 of our adventure, which we'll show you here in a little while. We had to cut this short because to pay for extended parking would have like doubled the cost of our transportation for this trip. So hopefully our car's still in the parking lot when we get there, and I still have the key, which is good news. So didn't lose that along the way, and yeah, so come on, let's head back to Cochrane.